Hello everybody, welcome to Charlotte Technology Channel, and happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. And in this one, we're going to be looking at multi-factor authentication, and this is going to be an interesting one because there is multiple layers of this. And I'm not really going to go into deep dive, but I am going to go over a brief overview. I will do videos on it later. This is in my series entitled Securing Your Accounts. Now, what brought this on was a dream. If you've watched my first video, you'll know that this came about through a dream where my son leaked all my user accounts, all my accounts, he leaked every one of them, and I was freaking out and didn't know what to do. So that's what brought on this entire series. So the first thing I want to do is, what is multi-factor authentication? You can see right here through Microsoft. When you sign into an account, you are authenticating yourself as this is who you are, right? You are saying, I am who I say I am. And it uses a password to do that. So think about your bank when you log into your bank account or your Netflix account or any account that you do. You are saying, I am who I say I am, right? Now, the problem is that through password only is not a great way to do things. And the reason being is because each account, if you get hacked or if something were to happen, if you are in the middle of something and you're trying to authenticate an account, let's say somebody gets in the middle of that attack and hears what you're doing or sees what you're doing, they can hack your account. So that's what ends up happening is you end up with a unsecure account, or if there for some reason you need a second way to lock that account down. Now, this all came about because of multiple things that happened over the last few years and how the hackers are getting smarter, the accounts are getting easier to hack. I mean, we've had multiple attacks and hacks and stuff. And in my buddy's book, Shields Up, which I read, I will be going over a lot more of this stuff in great detail. But that's for a later video. So in this one, we're going to do a brief overview of what multi-factor authentication is, what it does, and how you can use it for yourself. Now, I won't go into detail. I will tell you about the apps, but I'm not going to show you them till a later video because we're going to save that till later. Okay, multi-factor authentication means exactly what it says. It is you have multiple ways of authenticating accounts. So you have your password, right? And then on top of the password, you would have there's 4 different versions that I know about and 2 of them I've used. The first is text message. So the text message is where you say, okay, I am who I say I am, blah, blah, blah. Now send me a code that said that so I can authenticate who I am. I am who I say I am, right? So let's look at this from a perspective of a text message. Anybody can intercept that communication. That's what we don't want. That's why text messaging is becoming less and less used, because it's not as secure as the other methods. The second method, which is actually the method I use probably the most, and that's biometric. Now, I will tell you that my phone, where's my phone at? The Pixel 6 Pro. Yeah, I still have an old phone. Still works beautifully too. A Pixel 6 Pro on this phone, it automatically asks me when I set up an account, hey, do you want to enable biometric on this? The problem is the key is stored internally in the device, which may or may not be good depending on, you still have to authenticate with your thumbprint. It's good. That's what it's for. So it's multi-factor. The third one is the Authenticator app. Now, I can tell you there are several. There are several of these. There's Google Authenticator. There's Microsoft Authenticator. There's, I believe, there's a bunch of them. There's tons of them. But Microsoft Authenticator is probably the one we use at work because we have a Microsoft environment. I use Google Authenticator and Microsoft Authenticator, depending on what the use case or the needs are. Or fourth, and the most secure, is this. Now, right now, I noticed today, I was looking through Facebook and saw an ad for YubiKey, how their stuff is 25% off right now. If you get $100 worth of stuff, you get $25 off. That's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. So for individuals, so basically what this does, now this is an interesting one because it combines several of them together, right? So it takes, so did you see the way they grabbed that? He grabbed it with his fingers like this and plugged it in. He plugged it in and had to grab both sides with his fingers. So you may be asking yourself, what is this called? It's a YubiKey. YubiKeys are one of the best. They have Google has some, the Titan, I believe it's called. There's a lot of them. And basically what they do is it increases your security by a lot because it allows you to have a physical device that you have to plug in. And then a lot of them have that, and you have to touch it on top of that. So that's the most secure of all. So now that I've said all that, you may be asking yourself, what should I do? Well, it depends on your use case. My advice to you is think about this logically, right? You have all these accounts. The first step, as in my first video, is use a password manager. Use that password manager on top of this to where you have to have a physical key to unlock it. Now, they make all different kinds. They make USB-A, which is the big wide port you just saw there. They make all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, I'm talking like all different kinds. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So they have USB-A, USB-C. I mean, they've got all different kinds. And they've got Apple ones. It's got USB-C on one side, the Thunderbolt, or what is it called? Whatever that one's called. The Apple one. So it has all of those on it. And basically what you do is to authenticate, because there are some accounts I have that'll say, hey, do you have a pass key? I haven't created pass keys. I did on one account, but then I forgot what I did away with it. So that's the problem. So the pass keys can be used on a Windows desktop. It can be used on a lot of different things and different areas. So when you're doing it, my advice to you is not to get too complicated, because the more complicated it is, the harder it's going to be for you to understand it. And the harder it's going to be for you to set things up. But if you keep it simple, so like use a YubiKey. These are pretty easy to set up too, which I will be doing a video on this before too much longer. So if we go look at the store right here, so save $25 on orders above $100. Well, I'm ordering 4 of them, and they are what? Oh, crap. Security keys, multiple protocol, supports passwordless. So my goodness, they have got everything, dude. I mean, these are government validated. So these, holy crap, man, I didn't know they cost that much. Woo, that's expensive, y'all. But there's a lot of them. And all of these support, 1Password is awesome. All of these support multi-factor. So my advice to you is, if you are with a company, right? If you're with a provider or a service provider or something, and they do not support multi-factor, get rid of them. Get rid of them, because that means they're taking steps. They're not doing fully what they should be doing at their level. They're not doing what they should be doing, because multi-factor should be pretty much a standard now. And if they're not doing it, and they are a big organization, then it makes you wonder, why are they not doing this already, right? Multi-factor has been a thing for a long time now. So that's my advice to you, is keep it very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Now, my problem is I like to overcomplicate everything. I like to make it so darn hard that even I can't get into it. But you can't do that. The point of all of this, y'all, is to take your family and protect them. Protect your assets. Protect the things that you have. And you can't do that. Hear me. You can't do that if it's overcomplicated. That's just going to make it harder for you to make it secure. So my advice to you is to make things very simple as you possibly can, while implementing all of these technologies. Multi-factor is one of the main ones that I use. I use multi-factor on pretty much everything, even my bank account. Now, my bank account, what I would like to do is have 3 methods of securing that one, because that one is one of the most important. So the more important accounts you secure with more than 2 if you can. Authentication methods. So, everybody, I think that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to know more, I will include links to YubiKey and all of these things down in the description. That way you know exactly what's going on. To all of you who don't know Jesus Christ, thank you for watching this video. I pray that you reach out to me in the comments if you don't know him, and I will be more than glad to tell you all about him, and I will pray for you if you want to. I could do that too. So anyway, everybody, that's the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, everybody, peace.